This is Thunderbolts 54, which is part one of the two-part story with Humus Sapien, a character created by a fan in 1973. I unboxed the Thunderbolts omnibus, and there were a few issues in it where I said, I want to review this one properly. But I think I cut out every single comment like that because it was a long video. This week, when I review these Thunderbolts issues, I have set myself a challenge. These videos are not scripted. They are just me almost improvising an entire review while somehow maintaining all these wrong names for things I have established in previous videos. I do write down what is on each page, a breakdown of the page layouts, and sometimes prompts for what is best to talk about on that page. Like I can say for the first 3 pages, my prompt just says, explain V-Man identity, which I might not be able to do with my challenge actually. My challenge is I am not allowed to mention Kurt Busey once after this sentence. This is by Fabian Nicieza, and the artist who was one of the first to block me on Twitter, but rejoice because he unblocked me. Nice splash page here by F.O.O.M. Same with Mike Diddy Dardo Jerk, who still has me blocked. I have never really turned on them as artists just because they blocked me. I still like their work and will happily say something like this is a very nice image. I just do not like them as people. That opening has all been an idle daydream of V-Man. Explain V-Man identity. Let's see. V-Man, he is the leader of the current iteration of Thunderbolts, who, as this page adequately shows and exposits, is once again Baron Zero. The V-Man identity became a mess, but at this point they went back to the original idea of Baron Zero masquerading as a hero. He had his face fixed and was claiming to be someone else, but it was just Baron Zero right now. We have Captain America giving readers and the info dump on the members of this team. What happened was with issue 50, the ad team broke up and they were replaced by this new government-sponsored team of Thunderbolts, which includes V-Man as leader and teenage members Charlie Cole and Lightning Lass. They are the 2 young recruits from the previous team. Both are pretty flat characters in my opinion. We have 2 new members up here, these 2 women. One thing with this team is that most of them have a connection or a tie to the original team member they are somewhat replacing. Like the woman who is Beetle, the one on the left, she actually comes from Deadly Foes of Spider-Man. She was the getaway driver who wanted revenge on Beetle, aka Mark, real name Abe. The other woman is the only one who seems an odd one out. She's meant to be a Moonstomp equivalent, but she doesn't have any actual tie to her. She just uses her ad Meteorite alias and has a backstory that's kinda sad and provides a very awkward, unfortunate moment in this issue. We also have Fister, and much of this issue is about him causing a bunch of trouble. Then there is a sound entity that they know nothing about, who is almost like an anti-character. Doesn't speak, doesn't emote, we don't know who they are yet. And there is Baron Zero's handsome new face. Fools even Captain America into thinking that it's not Baron Zero. There is one other member of this team who we have not been introduced to yet, but we will come to them in a few pages. I like this team though. I think it is a good revamp. It has 4 characters that link it to what came before. Baron Zero, Fister, Charlie Cole and Lightning Lass. Then a bunch of effectively new characters adopting heroic identities. And it feels like an appropriate continuation of Thunderbolts. It rhymes with what came before. It's like poetry, it rhymes. We also have subplots with Count Gravity, who is on the verge of having his big story arc. He is expanding his understanding of his powers, and it will climax with him holding nearly every major Marvel superhero prisoner in the sky. So Captain America, he says goodbye to this team. He helped train them for a few issues. And Black Moonstomp, her backstory is she was raped by an army general and then thrown in army jail for trying to speak up. Captain America doesn't quite know the true version of events, just that she was a disgraced soldier who was kicked out of the army for insubordination. So his words of how she is redeeming her previous poor actions really makes Captain America look like a pig. So Fister, he is at work digging through loads and loads of computer files because he's one of those I need to know everything characters. And of this new team, him and Baron Zero, they are still basically bad guys at heart. Our other character is down here, Atlas Man's kid brother. He has totally different powers to him. He has generic shatter powers. But he does feature a lot in Fabian Nicieza's long run on this title. In his desperate pursuit of unknown knowledge, Fister ends up discovering and awakening something that was being held in stasis. Stasis or stasis? I'm guessing that is one of those American/British differentials. I don't know which would be which. I would guess stasis would be us, because stasis sounds like how an American would approach pronouncing a word. We spend a lot of time on this Fister stuff because it is essential to establish how everything that happens is Fister's fault. He is responsible for everything bad that happens as a result of his own flawed nature and need to know everything. I thought of a good and very quick summation of Fister's character. He is someone who, if you put him in a room with a button and told him not to push the button, he would absolutely need to know what that button did, to the extent of likely eventually pushing it when he could not deduce its function any other way. But what he has awakened is an incredibly deadly mutie called Humus Sapien. Humus Sapien feeds on the life force of others, but not directly. Like up here, you see in Brazil, 2 random people drop dead because Humus Sapien has indirectly taken their life energy. As he continues to be awake and conscious and active, people will continue to suddenly die around the world. Quite an interesting power set. And this is all Fister's fault. Do not forget that. I really like this story. I admit part 1 here is too much setup. It feels a bit of a cheat to have this actually kind of cool bad guy, and he really only has part 2 where he is able to shine. I think as this team of Thunderbolts gains, their stories get stronger and stronger each time I read them. They did manage to establish quite a lot of character and backstory and even dynamic with this new set of characters very quickly. I recommend these 2 issues. If you have never read Thunderbolts before, I think these might actually get you into them. We even have that Andy introduction explaining the characters and their personalities. I am giving this a 7 thumbs up and continuing to controversially put my Thunderbolts reviews on my Avengers video playlist.